What's up, guys?
Hello.
Yes, I am Joab.
I am Tash.
And I'm here joined by our youth pastor here, okay? And she unfortunately did not know that she was
I didn't know the joys of youth work.
Yeah. And she didn't know we were going to do this video today, so
I don't have my face on.
Plus, also, I haven't given her any questions to get ready or any of that, so grace is to be given, right?
Please.
Because everything's going to be new questions. I mean, you have an inkling what I'm going to talk, ask you about or whatever. But the whole point of this was that I want to, we want to bring people into the realm of youth work. That's probably not the
unspoken.
The unspoken, yeah. Things that maybe you wouldn't have heard before, or maybe you guys have an inkling of, but for some, asking someone who's actually been there, who's done it for some time, but also an encouragement as well to other youth workers out there, youth pastors out there. Obviously, this is not a podcast for it's all bad. It's not about that.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
Turn back now.
Right. But it's just an encouragement of the real. That in all the miracles, in all the great things that are happening, and all the great things that have happened, there is the real side of it as well, which no one sees, that a youth pastor will go through. So
yeah.
I'm not sure where to start, but I guess I'll start. Should I start positive?
Yeah.
Let's start positive. Since you've been a youth pastor, and just a youth, dealing with youth in general, this is a hard one. What's been the most rewarding part of doing this job? Because as much as I say job, it is a job, but it's also like this calling. What's been the most amazing part?
I think I'll always have to say seeing salvation and then seeing transformation. So when you get a kid come in that doesn't know Jesus, and just the time and the effort that you pour into them, and then them finding the Lord for themselves, or through the things that are being spoke about or taught or whatever, and then seeing the transformation in their lives. I don't think anything beats that, because it just shows that when we take a step back and the Holy Spirit moves, that's where the work happens. So that's always going to be my highlight or my positive.
Love that. That's cool. Amazing. What's one thing that that you wish you knew, that you know now, that you wish you knew at the very start of doing youth work?
Good question. That kids aren't always going to listen, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
Just that you can say all the right things and lead all the right ways.
Right.
But there's still no guarantee that they're going to take it on board. Even though you should know that.
Right.
Because it's people.
Yeah.
But it's just the idea that sometimes you have some so set in your brain of oh, this is going to be the thing for that kid.
Right.
And then nothing happens with it, or they don't turn up.
Yeah, I mean, the amount of times that has happened, I can't imagine. The amount of times that's happened where either one of us prepares a message, in our brains we're like, oh, I know this kid actually. Lord, did you give me this for that kid?
Yeah.
And then you get there, that kid's not there.
Yeah, it makes you question everything. Because you're like, God, I thought that this was for them.
Right.
Where are they? What's the point anymore? Should I just rip it up and do it the next day when they are here? Or do I be obedient and still do it? And 9 times out of 10, when you still do it, it's actually for someone else.
Exactly, yeah. And that's, I guess, the lesson is just be obedient.
100%.
What's in your brain. Because I have similar thoughts in the sense of, you have this picture in your head. I think it's movies. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Movies have a way for me of painting a picture of this massive happy ending of everything, which is the kid's just going to put their hand up and be in tears on the floor, on their knees, Lord, I need you. And they probably do in their heart sometimes.
But what we see...
what we see doesn't look like that. So then you get a little bit discouraged. I think part of it is that the problem with that, isn't it, is that we've put the result in our own hands.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's something for youth leaders, whoever's watching, is to be like, the outcome isn't in your hands. What God does with somebody is between them and God does that. Now you can facilitate and you can help and you can be there.
100%.
But it helps your security to know that the outcome has nothing to do with me. I'm just got to be obedient to what God's told me to do.
No, definitely. Yeah, it makes like a massive difference. But also like the pressure, like when you know it's not about you.
Yeah.
Like it's about like God doing the work and just like using you. Right. But like once he's done that bit of like using you, it's like you don't have to worry about it anymore. I know for me it used to be like a real struggle. Like when I first started doing youth work, the idea of like planning a message, preaching a message, speaking the message, and feeling like nobody heard anything, like at all. And then you hear like 6 months down the line, like literally not even exaggerating, like, oh Tash, like, you know that message that you preached like 6 months ago, like, oh yeah, that's what made me like follow Jesus, or oh that's what made me like quit this or start this or do this. And I'm like, that would have been helpful to know that it spoke to you 6 months ago, but yeah, cool, no worries. Like, but again, when you're like trusting in God rather than like, oh well, I didn't see what I wanted to see. Right. It makes those conversations a lot more exciting when they do come, rather than like annoying. Yeah, true. Because I used to get really annoyed about it. Like, are you serious? But now it's like, oh, I'm glad God did the work in you behind the scenes. Like, that's what matters.
I love that.
But yeah.
There is one part of youth work that is probably for good reason isn't talked about much. There's and we touch on it every now and again, sometimes with frustrations, but sometimes with like in great moments, is the dynamic between youth leaders, youth workers, and parents of the kids. Because see your face, sorry.
I just don't know where you're going with
I know.
Like,
but hear me out.
Okay.
We said we'd be real.
Yep.
But in being real, we obviously are doing it in love. I personally will do it in love. I believe personally, now, and I'm going to ask you the same question, but that the line is really tough sometimes between being someone's youth leader and almost being in a role of a parent to them. Whereas I believe that parents should be parents to their kids. When they're with us, yes, of course, there's things we teach. You do kind of take that role on in some places in their lives. But for the most part, it's not my responsibility to parent the kid. My responsibility is to lead them to Jesus.
Yeah, 100%.
Now, that can come in many different forms. But how have you navigated that sort of tension? Because I know it's not easy, and we can act like it's simple, and parents have been widely lovely. But
100%,
it's knowing how have you navigated that? Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie, like for me, that was like one of my biggest struggles, because like I always used to see the youth as like my little chicks. Right. And I used to be like feel like I was like that mother hen sort of thing, like take my little chicks under my wing and then like I'll like look after them and whatever, which obviously we do as youth workers, but like you said, there is a very fine line between like I'm not their parent, like I am their like youth leader or their youth pastor or like whatever, like I'm here to lead, but I'm not here to parent. So it's a difficult one. I think like more recently, like I'm sort of seeing that role more as like older sister. Like rather than a mum. Okay. Like, because even like I guess I've not got an older sister, but again TV and shows and all that kind of stuff like paints the picture for me. But it's like you can be that like person of authority as a sister, but not as a parent, if that makes sense.
Got you.
So it's like I can still like pour in the love and like the support that a sister would, and the, I guess, discipline, for lack of a better word, that comes with that. But knowing that like actually it's not my job to like parent. Again, like we've got like amazing parents in our youth group, so and like that makes it really helpful to be able to do those things as well, because we have relationships with like these guys and stuff. But yeah, especially like when you've got a kid that comes in that you don't know their parents, like that can be like a difficult one, because I think sometimes like when we don't know the like family dynamic. Like some kids do need that sort of like parental figure. If they've got like an absent parent at home, or just like a bad experience of like family life sort of thing. Like sometimes coming in and being that person, but like in a Christian sense as well. Like I think kids really like need that at times, like and like respect that. And I think we've seen that before in the past, because it's like those kids will gravitate towards like either a male or a female depending on like what they're lacking. Do you know what I mean?
I've seen that actually.
Yeah, it's like it's a weird one, isn't it? But it's like, but that's why it's important also to be those people that like these kids can come to and like almost like see as that like spiritual mother, spiritual father, because like there's a difference between having like a parent in the world that doesn't believe the same as what you believe and like a parent that does. So yeah, I think it's just like sort of not replacing the parental figure at home, but like being that like spiritual like figure for them. But
that's really good actually, because I think, I don't know exactly, I can't remember exactly in the word where it is. It might be Acts 6. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, where they say that they assign people to help the widows while they're able to do certain other things or whatever it is. But also the Bible, I believe, does speak about us becoming these things for each other, like being the Lord is like the husband to the widow. He's all these things. It's almost like taking on roles, knowing that this person doesn't have that. I think that's a really mature way of looking at it, because you could blanket it, like I said earlier, of like, that's not my job. But you could also be like, in this moment, I think this kid really needs me to be a father figure. Not necessarily be their dad, obviously, because I can't be, but be a father figure in this specific moment.
100%.
I think that's actually quite biblical in the sense.
Well, it's the same as like Jesus, isn't it? Like we see him as like father, but we also see him as friend. So it's like sometimes we're just like chilling with Jesus as our friend, and then like other times it's like, oh no, you're like teaching me here. It's like those that type of relationship, even with God, isn't it? Like, no, you're my father right now, but actually like we can still hang out. So it's like there are different levels to. So do you think the fight then is more so knowing when's the right time to be that, or the tension of that? Because sometimes we can overstep. I've been there. No, definitely. Where you're like, oh, I thought I was meant to step in here, and it's like, no, you didn't need to, or is it working out that tension? I guess so. But I guess just like praying for like the discernment in it. It's it's knowing every kid individually, isn't it? So it's understanding like what they need, and the more you build relationship with every kid, like every kid is different, like which can be challenging in itself, because like what works for one child isn't going to work for another. So like you can't just say like, oh, okay, well in this moment like I have to be this person. It's like, okay, no, what does like this kid, like let's look at the child individually. What do they need right now? And like asking like God to help you like know that as well. And of course like sometimes we're going to get that wrong, like you say, like sometimes we'll overstep, or like maybe like respond differently to how we should have in that moment. But I think it is just based on relationship with the child and like the kid, like understanding their dynamic, what they need. Like again, what works for one kid isn't going to work with someone else. So whereas like one person might need like a bit more like direct like chatting to, someone else might just need like a love in that moment, or like arm around the shoulder sort of thing. Like, okay, let's talk about it, rather than like, no, let me tell you about it. Like so I don't think there's like a one size fits all with it, but I think it is just asking God to help you like know what they need in that moment. If that makes sense. No, that makes perfect sense. I think the encouraging thing for anyone maybe who's a youth leader or pastoring in any way, young people, is that I actually think more so now that parents who aren't believers are actually very comfortable leaving their kids with church, or we've had plenty of kids who come in and out, but they're almost very comfortable to just be in an environment where they're going to hear about Jesus. 100%. And their parents are okay with that, and it's almost like a peace to it. Is it easy to create that kind of environment, or is it something you have to cultivate, or you just be you and allow God to do the work type of thing? Or? That's a difficult one. I think it is just like a case of like being like us,
right.
and then God doing the rest. Like obviously, our like church motto in itself is like church is family. So I think like when that's something we create, it's easy for like a kid to come in and feel a part of that family. Like getting like the young people to like chat, or like adults chatting, like no one comes in and doesn't get spoken to. So like they're already like feeling welcomed in that. And I know for me, like if a kid comes in that I don't know and they want to like hang out or do something, like I'll always make an effort to like contact their parent and make sure like I introduce myself and they know who I am, what we stand for. So like there's no confusion in that. And like you said, every time I've done that recently, it's like received with such like, oh yeah, that's fine. Like I don't like, not like I don't care, but like, yeah, you do what you need to do. Like I'm happy for you to like look after them for a bit, like go for it sort of thing, which is again really lovely that these parents that don't know me and I don't know them are like trusting of that. But I do think it just comes from like your personality and what type of like environment your youth group is. Like if it's one that feels inviting, like kids are going to feel safe in that, do you know what I mean? So but
oh, I love that. I think with kids as well, it's almost adopting the thing, you know what Jesus said when he's like, let these children come to me, for the kingdom belongs to them. It's almost having that mentality as a youth worker. Is almost like being inviting of every kid. You know, which is hard to do because sometimes you get on with other kids more than others. It's just, or you have more common interests than other kids, and it's like navigating that of. It's not easy, I'll be honest, but it is something that we're continuously working on. But the one that I did want to come to, which I think most youth leaders, I believe right now, there are youth leaders right now navigating this one specific thing within a youth group: drama.
Oh my days.
The drama.
The youth drama.
Youth drama is not a joke.
It's EastEnders.
It's EastEnders on steroids.
Literally.
And bless them, they're absolutely amazing kids. But in any youth group, there will be some form of drama. I mean, thankfully, I don't feel like there's loads going on right now. I don't know, but
it's
I mean, that's some I might not know, but anyway, it's fine. But the point is, how for like this is just for the youth worker who's watching, who's going, I'm overwhelmed. I don't know how to deal with this. So-and-so doesn't like so-and-so for something that I think is probably not that big of a reason, but until they actually talk, all this stuff is going on through this youth worker's head. How do they navigate the drama of youth?
So for me in this situation, like, and this is something I've been trying to implement for like a couple of years now, it's like, and it always makes it easier if both of those parties are believers. Right. But my like advice is like, okay, do you know Jesus? Do you know Jesus? And if the answer is yes to both, it's like, okay, well, Jesus needs to be the center of this sort of thing. So like I've even had conversations of recent, and it's like, okay, well, they need to go and do the work of Jesus. You need to go do the work of Jesus. And whoever's in the wrong, Jesus is going to deal with that. Right. So it's like if someone said something horrible or spiteful or whatever, like trusting that God's going to convict them. And then it's on them to reconcile. But it's being like the mediator in that as well. So it's allowing like both parties to have a voice. Like, okay, like what's your side of the story? What's your side of the story? Because obviously as a youth worker, like we have to be objective. Like that we can't be taking sides because half the time we're not even there. We're not privy to the drama. We just hear from it. So it's like, okay, I'm going to hear both of your sort of stories. But then I'm just going to trust that like, obviously we can talk it through and everything.
Yeah, of course,
But as long as Jesus is the center, like God's going to do the challenging. Right. It might take time for them guys to listen to what's being said or like what God's challenging them on. But it's like at the end of the day, those things aren't going to be able to stay there. Right. Because you're going to be in discomfort because you're not got peace because you're not sorting out the situation. Obviously, if someone isn't a Christian in that, like, so you've got one Christian, one not Christian, or maybe both non-believers, makes it a little bit more difficult, but we've not really had to navigate that too much ourselves. So, but I think I would do the same in the sense of like, okay, let's listen to both stories. Like, we know there's going to be people that we don't get on with as much as someone else, and that's okay. Like, that's just part of like the world, isn't it? We don't always have the same interests as everybody, but it's learning how to still be gracious to that person.
Exactly. Yeah.
To like not hold resentment, to like bring the scripture of like forgiving, like looking at our long list of sins that we've done and seeing that God forgave us.
Absolutely.
So like, why can't these two people forgive each other, regardless of how their feelings have been hurt? We're constantly hurting God's feelings in what we do, knowingly and unknowingly. But it's like, so if something has just been like a little bit of a mishap or a mistake between like the two parties, it's like, okay, well, let's talk about it, let's air it out, and let's move on. Because if God is the center of that, which, like I said, most of the time he is in the drama that we deal with anyway, it's like, okay, then we've got to trust that God's going to do the work. Like, again, it's one of those that we don't have to take it on ourselves to be the fixer, but allowing God to do the fixing.
Absolutely. I've learned this over the years, and this is not like this is not the thing that fixes all, or it's not the telltale for everything, but a huge component into knowing where the truth is coming from is seeing who's willing to put their stuff on the table first. Like, who's willing to say, actually, I did this, or I was wrong about this.
Taking accountability.
Yeah, because the ones who don't, you're almost like, if you cannot ever see you're wrong in something, it's hard to trust you in that. It's like, now it's not always the case, because sometimes someone could really genuinely have not done anything, and they're wondering, well, how did I get here? So that there can be cases like that. But for the most part, especially with youth, you'll find there's their story, this story, and then the truth. There's always somewhere in between where you're like, oh gosh. But no, I love that. Okay, so as we finish this episode, I don't know, we might do more of these. I don't know. It's up to you. Obviously.
Maybe when I got my face on.
When you got your face on. Yeah. But what's because there's so much to talk about in terms of youth that isn't necessarily like common knowledge to everyone, but will be helpful. But as a parting encouragement, sorry, I'm putting you on the spot a little bit. For the youth worker or youth pastor that's been going for it, slugging it out. You've been what, 5-6 years now? 7? I don't know. Something like that.
Yeah, 6.
Say 6 years, 6.5 years, something like that.
Something like that.
Right. So you've seen a thing or two, right? What's an encouragement for someone like that who's like, does this get any better? And does this get any easier? What encouragement do you have for them? And faithfulness, and keep it going.
I think it is just like holding on to the little wins. So with everything, like we said earlier, like no kid is the same, which means no age group of kid is the same, which means no matter what cycle you're going through in your youth group, it's never going to be the same. Right. So it's learning to like see the group as what they are, see the need of the group at each individual stage, and just trust in God with the process. Youth work, like we said, can be really, really hard. It can be draining because you're carrying like their emotion plus your emotion plus the like heart to want to like see them grow and move and like grow closer to God. So the exhaustion of it can be quite heavy at times. And when you don't see what you want to see, or like the changes that you want to see in the time that you want to see it, it can feel really like discouraging. But when you really look for it, there will always be those little wins. Like whether it's a kid saying like, oh, I read this scripture the other day and it means this to me, or oh, actually like I'm praying for you because you're going through this, or I've prayed for my friend the other day because they're going through this, or anything like that. It's like those are the little things that matter, because they might not seem like massive things to us in the moment because we're seeing all the chaos that's around us. But if you really take a step back and maybe like chat to a kid or two, you'll see just how far that child is coming along. So it's not necessarily always focusing on like the bigger picture of like what you don't see, but focusing on the little things that you do.
I love that.
Because it can be exhausting. It can be hard work, and it can be like spiritually and physically draining at times. But sometimes all you need is that little moment of like that little glimpse of like, oh God, you did something there. That's really cool. Thank you, Jesus. That just keeps you going. And always just like trusting on what it can be. Like you might not see it right now, but like trusting that actually, God, I know you can do this. So for us, like I've had like a few pictures or like words given to me about like standing room only, which like our understanding of that is like we'll be in a building or in a room that there's no place to sit. There's going to be so many young people that we all just have to stand because we're cramming everybody in. Now, that's a picture that I believe God has given because it's been given a few times from different sources before, like by now. But when we look at our roots group, we've got like 10 kids at the moment. It's like shrunk quite a lot.
Right.
So when you look at that and you're like, oh, we're never going to get a standing room only. We've got like 10 kids or 12 kids or whatever it is. But I'm not focusing on what I see right now. It's trusting, like, no, God, you've said this.
Right.
So I'm going to trust that that picture is going to come true, regardless of what I see right now. And just always going back to that, like spending some time maybe in prayer or like seeking God on what he wants for your youth group, the plans that he has for it. And then when the times get hard, it's like just holding on to that. Yeah. Like, actually, no, this is a promise you said to me, God, so I'm going to stick to that rather than what I see.
Love that.
So yeah, that'd be like my little encouragement.
Yeah. But, hey, we hope that helped, guys. That was brilliant. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
If you want to watch more of these, let us know so that Tash will say yes to the next one.
So I can have a little bit more time, like getting myself ready.
Yeah. If you enjoyed that, please do let us know. That there's so much more, and I'd love to go into even loads more. But we want to not make these too long as well. So. Stay tuned. Maybe there'll be an episode 2. Who knows?
Maybe there will.